So hello everyone, I'm Mondon here, and welcome to my review of episode 10 and 2. The second review actually today, because I forgot to say my other one, so I was like, what the hell, yeah. So anyway, my thoughts are pretty clear at least, and it's a very good episode, but it's quite weird, right? Because the thing is, I went and read the manga. I usually do it after I do an episode, and I read the manga that it's taking place in, and as I felt, my memory was like watching it, this has nothing to do with the manga at all. The flashback there is 100% new, which was the best part I watched it. I was like, wow, what the hell is it doing there? Yeah, it's 100% new, and it adds a lot of information on it. I'm going to do a very short, actually, spoiler video after this when I explain just very quickly what it means. And if you are an anime watcher, you probably shouldn't watch that, but you can watch it anyway if you want to know what those people are, the military, what Ymir backstory is. It's gonna relate to like Ilsa's notebook and so on. But anyway, those things are. This episode is so weird for itself because it's such a manga-focused episode, right? And I mean that is that anime usually are made to sell the source material, right? So they do this anime and they hope they're gonna get some revenue in back into manga as well, right? And back and forth and so on. And this episode is so clear that it's like, yeah, we do this episode. And we are talking about stuff that only the manga readers, like recent manga chapter people, kinda will know about. So it's a very weird sense of it. It's super revealing, I guess, in a way. You don't really want to know what it means if you want to watch anime, but it has a lot of depth there, filling out stuff that even as a manga watcher doesn't know. And if you know all the stuff in the manga, you can kind of figure out what a different part means. So it's a very interesting episode, very, very interesting. However, though, again, there it's kind of funny how this anime took so long time to make it. This anime is super hyped, especially in the US. Outside of Japan, the anime, not the manga so much. And they're doing this, and it's kind of weird. This won't really sell the anime. Maybe it will. Like, I would love to hear some comments. I would love to hear people talk about this. If you're anime only watcher, I'm going to spoil anything here. What does everything mean in this episode, right? Because it's really weird. Maybe the mystery makes you more intrigued, but it's also really weird how the setup is. And obviously, we have to wait for another few years until we know what the anime's whole plan is, but it's really weird that they are showing this much stuff here right now. This doesn't make sense to me. However, though, I do think one concern is for me is the anime as a whole, and not just the whole thing. I mean, like when it happened when I'll get there, but also mean that this is such slow pace. Right? Well, I like the episode, especially as a manga reader. I love it more, obviously. But what's to happen? Because they're doing this like snow thing and the Historia thing and Ymir thing, and it takes so much of time for them. And they are really doing like one chapter per episode. And when I watched the episode first, before I got halfway through, I thought we were gonna get to a very important scene, this foreshadowing the opening of this new opening. I was like, yeah, this gonna be this episode. This should be this episode. This gonna be really, really badass. It's like, no, here's a new flashback that is like completely new for 10 minutes. That was a really good flashback, really good flashback. But I mean, like, wow, they managed to do another. Like, almost less than a chapter for an episode, like last week. And that, of course, means that they're never getting anywhere with the main story, right? They're never getting anywhere with the actual story. Like, see how much less they progressed here. So, Eric was kidnapped, 2 episodes back, right? Because of the forest, and they never left the forest until the last second of this episode, right? So, they spent 2 episodes in this forest. That's a lot of time, right? A lot of time. Yes, for flashback there, what I mean, right? They're very, very slow. I've been saying it every week, and this is even more clear. I mean, not as clear as the Mikasa flashback, but this is still on the same level, right? They're doing like a flashback that fills out the rest of the time frame, so you can do 1 chapter per episode, and that is very, very slow. So what I liked the episode a lot, I think it's like a 9 out of 10 episode. As a manga reader, I guess it's higher. I don't know, but I would say so. That it's still weird, right? I think it's weird as an anime progression, though. I have to say it's pretty bad. Not the episode itself. But the anime isn't that good in the sense, right? Because it's like, wow, they are moving, like they're not getting anywhere. They're not getting anywhere because they keep doing like every damn take one step to have to talk about for 10 minutes. It's like it's not about the lack of action or fighting. It's more like this episode progressed the main story for like 1 minute where Ymir captured Krista there on Historia. That's the only thing that progressed, right? Otherwise, they talked a bit, had a huge flashback. Yeah, and it's weird because, as I mentioned again, the manga doesn't even have this flashback. It's not that they're filling out the flashback and make it, take a longer time. They don't even have it. So the anime is definitely taking a lot of liberties from how the manga, how the source material is progressing in story and presenting the characters and so on. So that is very special. The anime is so manga focused look at the ending, right? It's so manga focused. It's very, very. The word's weird because my mind, it feels strange. It's like hen, you know. It's like it just feels kind of off, right? And what I mean is that I think it was a production value because, or like this anime is huge, as I mentioned again, then especially in United States of America, right? And Europe, but especially really big in the US, right? It's really big in the USA, all beloved USA, right? And it's like this anime is extremely slow, and they're not really caring about anime fans. That's very, very clear. They just want to do this thing. I think this episode is anything, you know, wants to back, go buy the new manga book to read about Ymir because she's like, oh, probably the new manga book. And that's how I feel this episode, right? Because they're focusing on stuff that's happening in the anime manga right now, pretty much, right? Not exactly, but it's kind of like if you haven't read the last year of the manga, then you won't get flashbacks. That is weird. That's like extremely focused on the manga. Why that is you know, the main concern for them to get people buying the manga, I guess. It just feels like they're really just, you know, caring about it. It's weird, definitely. However, though, the episode was good, right? It was good. I really love to see when she's actually kind of, you know, getting tired or something. It's like went into idle mode. It was like, yeah, that's how she managed to, you know, get on Rainer and how has managed to backstab them. That, of course, is also new. So, like, for a manga reader, you also expected, oh, I guess she's like walking around and somehow she managed to like grab Marcel and eat him by, you know, by them just not being, you know, being careless. But this actually shows us here, again, from manga readers, this shows us that, okay, actually, she wasn't just kind of hiding there, actually. So, that's pretty special, actually. It's very special in that kind of sense. And of course, we also see some other parts there, some of her worshippers and so on. And while she also has her name, that was referred to like the last chapter in the manga. So it's like this is like current manga chapter almost. Not exactly, but like it's very little, not exactly, but very little of it. And it's like, what the hell are they doing? It's like this is so weird. This is so weird. So it was like this is a revealing story for me as a manga reader, right? I was like, oh, interesting. That's how that works out. Weird. The kid showed hands. Yeah. Basically, she's some kind of, you know, they took her up from the street, right, and whatever made or something. Yeah, so, and she didn't understand, of course, why they did it. And then when someone asked her, like, oh, who are you doing? Oh, I'm this person. Like, okay, let's kill her. It was like, that wasn't that good for her, to not lie there. But yeah, like, yeah, the second half of the fabric is really, really good. And the fighting is pretty good as well. In the Eren fighting with those hands was pretty good, right? However, that was a little slow, I think. That was the only problem for me, the episode, because I did really love the Ymir part where she's like almost crying, she's super desperate, like, get my Krista back, I have to get my Krista, fuck you guys, I can just escape from you, and that part was really great. But I mean, that part where, before that, is a little slow, right? When they're fighting with Eren and Rain and so on, it's a little slow. I feel like he would speak a little faster. I guess, actually, one thing I think about is they do flashback a lot on flashback, but they do get into a lot of the like Irving command scenes that actually has no value. Think about it. They actually had to do that probably for like 1-2 minutes in total, going back and forth on streets of Mikasa, Eren. Yeah, it's true. They really love this in the anime. This is an issue with the anime because it always seems to be aiming at doing one chapter per episode. So they're like, how can we fill this out? Well, let's do another like 3 minutes of horse riding. But we split it into like 10 different parts, so that's gonna look normal. So that's, they do that a lot, right? So that's the problem. But that's why it isn't the time of 10 for me, because they do that too much. It's very clear. And yeah, like that is what I mean. It's very clear to me that they always add part scenes, right? The same with the snow thing. They're like, let's have Eren talk to them people here. Nothing to do with the actual story with Ymir and his story, right? This is like, they do that thing, and that's why. I say it again, just to be very clear to here. That is why this episode isn't a perfect episode, right? Because they do that too much, and it's clear feeling out, and that's why it's a 9 10 for me as an episode. As an anime, though, I'm very concerned actually. I'm very concerned with anime actually will end up, because at this speed, that they're gonna cliffhang the punch thing if you read the manga as the last scene, pretty much. Is that gonna be the cliffhanger for the whole anime? This will be probably the next episode, but I'm concerned because they're going this speed, right? Anyway, see you guys next week and have a great